Here we go. So today we're Pythagorean theorem, because this is something that you're going to use like crazy in geometry, so you might as well get it down now. And again, you can be like, I don't know, in 7th grade, no big deal, I know how to do this. Okay, so on your notes, there's a big chunk, and it just says, what is the Pythagorean theorem? There are different things about the Pythagorean theorem. First, give yourself a little star, and you've got to tell yourself it only works in right triangles. It's only for right triangles. Do you remember what has to be true in a triangle in order for it to be a right triangle, though? Can you draw yourself a picture? Draw yourself a triangle, but you've got to be specific about it. Jacob, what do we have to add to our triangle to make sure it's a right triangle? Okay, he said all the sides are even. Not necessarily, Jacob. Anybody want to add to Jacob? What makes it right, Taylor? Has to have a 90-degree angle. Guys, do you know the symbol for 90 degrees? Wait, first with your arms, show me 90 degrees. Can you show me? Let me see. Check it. Show you like this. 90 degrees like this. That's kind of like the symbol when you turn it this way. So the symbol right here, right there, that means 90 degrees. So add that to your triangle. So you got to have perpendicular lines. Okay, and then if we don't have numbers, we're just going to put variables on our triangle. You would call this leg letter A, little a, this leg letter B, little b, and then this side across from the 90 degrees, it's called the hypotenuse. That's going to be C. It doesn't matter which one you use for A and B, but it does matter which one you use for C. Can you repeat the vocab word I just used? What's C? It's the something of the right triangle. Sounds like hypotenuse. What is it? Hypotenuse. This is the hypotenuse. How can you tell this is the hypotenuse? It's always across from the 90-degree angle, and it's always the biggest side. Sorry. Okay, here comes the Pythagorean theorem. Are you ready? The Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. We're going to use that like crazy today. So I'm saying take this leg, square it, and then add this leg after you square it. It's always going to equal this leg squared. It's crazy. It works every single time. But it only works for what kind of triangles? For right triangles. Okay, let's keep moving and let's get into some examples. How do we use it? Okay, so first what you need to do on every single picture, you need to put in the A, the B, and the C, your ABCs. So what do you want to call this 7? Do you want to call it, what do you want to call it? Alright, let's call that A, write it on your notes. So what's this 11? B, and this one they've already got it. See how it says C? That's the one we don't know, but we can use Pythagorean theorem to find it. So on your notes, because I really suggest you copy down the Pythagorean theorem every single time. So let's write A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And we're going to take out the A's, the B's, and the C's where we can and put in those numbers. So instead of writing A, what number can we put? 7. Yes, so put a 7 right there. So that's 7 squared plus, what can we put instead of the B? 11 squared equals, can we put anything for the C? No, that's what we're looking for. So just keep that as C squared. Okay, grab your calculators. Okay, 7 squared, does that mean 7 times 2? No. No, what does it mean? 7 times 7, good job. Or just use that square button. So 7 times 7 is 49. Do you agree with me? And then do you know 11 times 11? 121. 121, close but no. And then keep equals C squared. Because I want to see all of this, okay? Especially on the notes. And then we add these two together. So 49 plus 121. Tristan, will you tell me what you get when you add those two together? Let's see how that please. 170 equals C squared. Alright, take question. No? Okay, guys, can I have your eyeballs on the board? Let me see your eyeballs. We're trying to get C alone. This is bugging it. That square sign. How do you get rid of a square? Do you remember the symbol from yesterday? What was the symbol from yesterday? Okay. Yeah, it's that square root sign. They're opposites, like the opposite of add is subtract, the opposite of times is divide. So we've got to do the opposite of this. So maybe write yourself a little note so you remember. Opposite is the square root sign. So now we've got to take the square root of 170, and that'll give us c. So that's why I set you up yesterday with practicing with square roots, because then we've got to execute it. If you type it in, find that square root button on your calculator, and then type in 170. Let's just do the same directions. It says round to the nearest 10, Jacob. So let's round to that first spot after the decimal. Casey, what'd you get? Question, go ahead. Are you sure? Okay, she said never mind. Alright, can you get a hand in there? Do you have that decimal yet? Katie, what'd you get? 13.0? Alright, I'm going to write it up here. 13.0, and that would be centimeters. Okay, I always do a double check, because that hypotenuse should always be the biggest side. Is it bigger than 7? Check. Is it bigger than 11? Check. So that answer makes sense. Let's do another example. Okay, so we're on to number 2. So number 2, I'm begging you, put in your A, B's, and C's first. Alright, which one do you want to call this 23.8? Sure. A. So let's call this one B. And this is what we're looking for, right? We don't know the C. So here we go. Copy down your Pythagorean theorem. Pythagorean theorem says A squared plus B squared will always equal C squared. Alright, but instead of writing A, because what can we put instead of the A? You stay with me. There you go, 23.8. So we'll do 23.8 squared plus, instead of the B, let's put the 24. So 24 squared, and that's going to give us C squared. Definitely a calculator problem. If you type it in, 23.8 squared, I mean, if you have that yet, what is 23.8 squared? 23.8 squared. 566.4. Thank you, Amir. Alright, plus 24 squared. What do you have for that? 576. And then let's just copy down that C squared. We don't know what that is. Grab your calculators, add those two together. Alright, Tato, will you set that up? So type it in, 566.4 plus 576, and then tell me what you get. You have it, Tato? $1,142.1? 0.4? Alright, equals C squared. We have one more step. Can I get a hand in there? Once you get to this spot, do you remember what to do? One more thing in your calculator. Coleman, do you remember what to do on this one? Square root. Perfect, Coleman. So we'll take the square root of this. 114.2.4 equals C. And again, this is why we set you up yesterday with the square root sign. So now you have practice. You have that background knowledge. So type it in. Don't forget to practice till you got it. Type it in, type it in. Alright, Casey, what'd you get? 33.8. Nice. And then I always like to go back to the triangle and type it in. So 33.8. And again, do a mental check. That's supposed to be the biggest because it's the hypotenuse. It's across from the 90-degree angle. Check it's bigger than A leg. Check it's bigger than B leg. We're good. Because how many of you got that way before we got on the board? Yeah? Okay, let's do one more. Something's wonky about number 3. It's a little bit different in these first 2 examples. Has anybody notice a difference? Ashton, what'd you notice? Oh, this time we're looking for A. Let's definitely make this a little bit of all of our work. Okay, so I'm gonna name those legs. This first one, 4.7, is that B or C? That's a B. So this one, 6.1, is the, it matters. We have to use C for the hypotenuse, the one across from the 90-degree angle. So here we go with our formula. So the formula is A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Every single time that's a set. Unfortunately, on this problem, we don't know A, so let's keep our A squared plus the b squared, so that'd be 4.7. Don't forget to square it. And that's going to equal, this time we know the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is 6.1. So we'll do 6.1 squared. So this is a different setup than what we did on the first two examples. Same theorem, same plug in the numbers, but now we're going to have to solve it a tiny bit differently. Good thing we have our calculators today, right? We type it in first. 4.7 squared. Let's get that one out of the way first. So we'll have a squared plus whatever 4.7 squared is. You can hand there, will you help me with that one? Next, what'd you get? 23.1. 22. And then we'll still have our equal sign separating those. Now we've got to type in 6.1 squared. So 6.1 times 6.1. Casey, what'd you get? 37.21. Great. Thank you, Casey. Because I love that you are participating and getting the notes down. But I need you to stop and watch the board. Because this is something we didn't have to do on the last problems. Now, the whole point of equations, which you'll be pros at when it comes to pre-algebra, is you're trying to get the variable alone. So we have this square sign that's bugging it, but that's the last step. Kind of think of them as party problems. You know how when you throw a party, like the people that are kind of friendly first, but then your closest friend leave last. So he's the closest friend, so the closest to the variable, so he's going to leave last. So this is his other friend, plus 22.1, he's got to leave. How do you make plus 22.1 leave? It's all about inverses. So if it's plus 22.1, you would do the inverse, Tay, do you know? Yes, Tay, good job. On this one, you would minus 22.1 to get rid of it. So it was plus 22.1, so we're going to minus 22.1. But if you minus it on this side, you've got to keep it balanced. The equation is, the equal sign is the balance sign, so you have to minus 22.1 right here also. Okay, so that's a new step. Make sure you get that in. Okay, so with T's help, we got rid of this, so I don't need to write that again. So on this side, we have a squared. On this side, you'll have to use your calculators. 37.21 minus 22.1. Does anybody have that yet? The right calculator? Sarah, what'd you get? 15.11? Thank you. And now since I called a colon for the last one, I think of this as a colon. So, do you remember what to do right now? You've got your last little guy that's got to leave the party. How do you make him leave? Go ahead, Jude. Square root it. So do the opposite. Opposite of squared is square root. So a is going to equal the square root of 15.11. And it's a good thing we practiced yesterday. Type it in. All right, raise your hand if you have an answer. Let me see how many of you have an answer so far. Okay, Amir, what did you get for this one? 3.9. Guys, clap twice if you agree with me. Nice. All right, so I'm going to go back to the triangle. It was really 3.9. There. Whew, that's a doozy, right?